It is 11:47 at night in Osaka. A woman named Keiko has just finished washing her single ceramic cup, drying it slowly with a small cloth, and placing it back in exactly the same spot on the shelf. She turns off the kitchen light. She walks to her bedroom. She slides open a wooden drawer, takes out a folded cotton robe, puts it on unhurried, and sits quietly on the edge of her bed for about 2 minutes, doing absolutely nothing. No phone, no television, no scrolling, just sitting. Then she lies down. Within 12 minutes, she is asleep. She will wake up 8 hours later without an alarm. She has done this same sequence every single night for 23 years, and she has never once been prescribed medication for anxiety or insomnia. You probably read that and felt one of two things. Either you thought, that sounds absolutely impossible, or you felt a quiet ache, because some part of you remembers what it felt like to sleep like that. Here is the truth that nobody in the American wellness industry wants to say out loud. We are the most medicated, most sleep-deprived, most anxious generation of adults in recorded history. 1 in 5 Americans is currently taking some form of anxiety medication. Over 70 million Americans suffer from chronic sleep disorders. And the solution we keep reaching for is another app, another supplement, another prescription, another podcast to fall asleep to. We are trying to solve a nervous system problem with more noise, and it is not working. What Keiko does every night is not magic. It is not a quirky cultural habit. It is a precise, intentional nervous system ritual rooted in Japanese philosophy that has been quietly keeping an entire culture calm for centuries. And tonight, I am going to show you exactly how it works and exactly how you can use it. There are 3 Japanese concepts that hold this entire practice together, and once you understand them, you will never look at your bedtime routine the same way again.
The first is Kanso. Kanso, written with 2 characters, one meaning emptiness and one meaning simplicity. Together, Kanso means the beauty and power of uncluttered simplicity. It is one of the foundational principles of Japanese aesthetic philosophy, and it shows up everywhere in Japanese life, in their homes, in their meals, in the way they end their day. Kanso is not about being minimalist for the sake of looking clean on Instagram. It is about understanding that a cluttered environment creates a cluttered mind, and a cluttered mind cannot rest. When Keiko washed that single cup and placed it back in its exact spot, she was not doing chores. She was sending a direct signal to her nervous system that the day was complete, that things were in order, that it was safe to release. In America, we end our days in the opposite way, almost universally. The dishes are in the sink, the laundry is half folded on the chair, 3 browser tabs are still open on the laptop. Our phones are face up on the nightstand, buzzing with notifications. And then we lie down and wonder why our brain will not stop talking. Your brain will not stop talking because you never told it the day was over. You never gave it a signal. You just fell horizontal and expected sleep to happen.
Kanso says the environment is the message. Tidy the space, and you begin to tidy the mind. The second concept is Ma. Written with a single character that shows a gate with moonlight coming through it. Ma means intentional empty space, a deliberate pause between things. In Japanese music, it is the silence between notes. In Japanese architecture, it is the empty room left deliberately unfurnished. In Japanese daily life, it is the quiet moment between one activity and the next, where you do not immediately fill the space with something else. Ma is considered not an absence of something, but a presence of its own, a necessary breath between chapters. When Keiko sat on the edge of her bed for 2 minutes doing nothing, she was practicing Ma. She was creating a deliberate gap between the day and sleep, a transition space, a corridor of stillness that allowed her nervous system to shift gears naturally, rather than being forced from full speed into unconsciousness.
This is where American culture has completely lost the thread. We go from screens to pillow in under 60 seconds, and then we are furious that we cannot sleep. We have eliminated every single transition space from our lives. We eat in the car, we answer emails during dinner, we scroll while we brush our teeth. We have become so afraid of empty space that we fill every gap with stimulation, and our nervous systems have forgotten how to downshift. Ma is the practice of putting the gap back, of honoring the space between things as something sacred rather than something to be eliminated. The third concept is Yuragi. Yuragi. Written with characters that together suggest a gentle, natural fluctuation, like the way water moves over smooth stones, or the way candlelight breathes in a still room. Yuragi refers to irregular, gentle, natural rhythm. Japanese researchers have actually studied this phenomenon extensively and found that natural irregular rhythms, the sound of rain, the flicker of a candle, the rustle of leaves, have a measurable calming effect on the human nervous system that perfectly regular sounds and lights simply do not produce. The brain does not just prefer Yuragi, it is literally wired for it.
Researchers at Kyushu University published findings in the journal Sleep and Biological Rhythms showing that exposure to natural, irregular sensory patterns in the hour before sleep significantly reduced cortisol levels, lowered heart rate, and decreased sleep onset time by an average of 31% compared to environments with artificial regular lighting and digital screen exposure. 31%. That is not a small number. That is the difference between lying awake for an hour and being asleep in 20 minutes. And a separate study from Harvard Medical School, published in the journal Current Biology, found that individuals who replaced evening screen exposure with natural light sources, candlelight, dim lamps, open windows, showed measurable improvements in melatonin production, sleep quality, and next-day anxiety levels within just 1 week. 1 week of change produced measurable biological results. Your nervous system is not broken. It is just starving for something it was designed to receive and has not been getting. So here is exactly what you do. 3 practices starting tonight. Here is your first tactic. 15 minutes before you intend to go to bed, do 1 small act of completion in your physical space. Wash the cup, fold the blanket, close the laptop. Put your phone in another room or face down across the room. You do not need to clean the entire house. You just need 1 or 2 deliberate acts that signal to your brain that the day has a closing point, that it ended, that you are not just pausing, you are actually done. This is Kanso in its most practical form, and it takes less than 5 minutes. The effect on your nervous system is disproportionately large for how simple it sounds. Here is your second practice. After that small act of completion, sit somewhere quiet for 2 to 3 minutes and do nothing. Not meditation, not deep breathing, not a guided visualization. Nothing. Just sit. Look at something still. Let your mind wander without chasing it. If thoughts come, let them come and let them pass. You are not trying to clear your mind. You are just practicing Ma, creating the corridor between the day and sleep. Most Americans have never once done this in their adult lives. The first time you try it, 2 minutes will feel surprisingly long. That feeling itself is information. It tells you exactly how starved your nervous system is for stillness. Here is your third tactic, and this one will feel the strangest if you are not used to it. In the last 10 minutes before sleep, remove all artificial bright light from your environment. Turn off the overhead light. Put on 1 dim lamp, or ideally, light a single candle. If candles are not practical, the lowest warm setting on a bedside lamp works. Let your eyes rest in that irregular, gentle, dim light for 10 minutes before you close them. You are giving your brain Yuragi. You are giving it the ancient sensory signal that the day is ending, that darkness is coming, that it is safe to begin the process of shutting down. Your melatonin will rise naturally. Your cortisol will drop. Your heart rate will slow. Not because you took anything, because you finally gave your body what it has been waiting for. None of this costs money. None of this requires a prescription or a subscription or a new device. It requires something harder than all of those things. It requires you to slow down for 20 minutes at the end of your day and treat the transition to sleep as something worth doing with intention. Keiko in Osaka is not calmer than you because she was born different or because her life is easier. Her life has hard days. She has stress and worry and bills and difficult relationships just like everyone else. She is calmer because she ends every single day with the same quiet signal to her body. The day is done. You are safe. You can rest now. And her body, after 23 years of receiving that signal, believes her. Your body will believe you too. It just needs you to start sending the signal. If this video shifted something in the way you see anxiety and sleep, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more on how the world's wisest cultures quietly build lives of deep rest, calm, and resilience, subscribe. There's a lot more coming. See you in the next